Talking Outlander and what Frank knew is not really something that can be answered definitively, and I think that is very purposeful on Diana's part. In Book 8, Written in My Own Heart's Blood, Chapter 42, Brianna finds a letter from Frank in the desk at Lollybrock. This is the time frame that we just saw in Season 7 where Rob Cameron has kidnapped Jemmy. The entire storyline plays out very differently in the books as a whole, but the biggest change, in my opinion, is this letter. In this letter, Frank begins telling Brianna how he fears for her safety and then goes into great detail about the Brand Seer and the prophecy he foretold, which is called the Fraser Prophecy. He goes on and on about other prophecies that the Brand Seer foretold and how Reverend Wakefield was very keen in his interest of the Brand Seer and did a lot of research on him. I'll come back to this in another video. As she moves forward in the letter, Frank is telling her all about his service during the war and his work with MI6. And then he tells her if she is reading this letter, he is likely dead. He tells her that if that is the case, she is to find the Reverend in Inverness because he knows everything that Frank knows. Off topic, this is exactly why I say Frank and the Reverend's death were not accidents, because I believe that they just knew too much. In the letter, he also tells her that he is not her real father and that he suspected Claire's story of time travel to be real, so he started looking all through history for Jamie. During his research, he discovered the Brand Seer prophecy that was referred to as the Fraser Prophecy, which predicted that the last of the Lovett line would rule Scotland. And then he encloses a copy of a family tree, which reflects Brianna as the last of the Lovett line. Goes on to tell Brianna how she may be in danger from the funny buggers, MI6, and tells her under no circumstances should she ever tell them that she can time travel. And he then suggests that she travels back to Jamie so that he can keep her safe because she is in great danger because of said prophecy. He goes on to say at the end of the letter that he is going to try and find whoever drew the chart and plans to attempt to neutralize the threat to her. Then he dies shortly after writing the letter. Now in this same book and continuing on to Book 9, we learn in Frank's book, The Soul of the Rebel, that he has also found in history a record of James Fraser dying on King's Mountain. I know you are all so sick of me talking about how I think this proof of history is actually true from Frank's perspective, because when Jamie was dead or hovering near death on King's Mountain, all of the soldiers walking down the mountain told Claire that Jamie was dead up there. And I would almost guarantee that they went down and reported it to all of their captains, who then recorded it in history as Jamie dying. I'm very interested to see how Season 8 of Outlander is going to tackle that storyline and Frank having that record of history. All this to say, the letter adds to the mystery of what Frank knew. He was training Bree just in case. He was leaving books and letters to help and to guide them. He was on to MI6, so getting his book and actually knowing his motivations and what he truly knew is something I can't wait for. For me personally, I believe MI6 knows all about time travel, and in the novella A Leaf on the Winds of All Hallows, they are experimenting with it, maybe even testing Frank at some level. We talked a lot about this on our latest podcast episode if you want to hear more.